Hey everyone. This video is just a brief review of everything we've covered with description and narration so far. I know that last week I also provided a video review over description and narration that went over the PowerPoints and handouts from week 2. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on any of that because we've already reviewed that. But I do want to once again remind you of where to find the essay assignment packet for your first essay, the narrative essay. Remember, it's in the week 2 module, and it is in the first sub-tab under the description and narration tab. So remember that packet, the first page includes the instructions and some helpful reminders for the essay, as well as all the important due dates. The second page is a list of possible topic ideas if you're still struggling to come up with one. And then the third and fourth pages are the graphic organizers. The first one is for mapping out the events that you're going to include in your story so that you have the timeline and you know which events are most important to include. And then the second graphic organizer is the chart to help you generate sensory details that you can then choose from to include in the essay. You do not have to do either of those graphic organizers. They are there just to help you. I also want to remind you that included with the link for the assignment packet, there's also a link for the rubric that I will be using to grade the essay. Again, do with that as you will, but it's there for you to kind of use as a checklist in a way as you're doing the rough draft and then especially the final draft when you make your revisions. You can refer back to that rubric to see what I will be looking for to get the highest score possible for each section. Totally up to you if you look at it though. So last week, the new material that we talked about was going over the first 3 sample narrative essays. So we talked about Fear the Laundry by Brian Eden. We talked about how he is quite humorous in his writing, how he uses a lot of very real details, makes him seem very down to earth, like we know him. He uses that sense of exaggeration to kind of poke fun at himself and make us laugh along with him. We looked at a second essay, also by Brian Eden, A Brief and Unpleasant Run-In with My Ex. Again, he's a very funny guy, so a lot of humor in that one. We have that unexpected twist where it's not his ex-girlfriend like we were expecting. It's actually his ex-barber, and how he commits to that concept, and it goes from beginning to end. It's very strong, that clever comparison, and it makes the essay super effective in addition to being funny. And then we also looked at Back at the Ranch, capturing a very specific moment in time with, it's a little more serious, but, it's just capturing one moment in time, not a series of events, not something that takes place over weeks or months or years, just one moment. And he has a very crystal clear point and purpose. And that is what I absolutely love about that essay. I know students aren't always as thrilled with it as I'd like them to be, especially coming off of the 2 funny ones by Brian Eden. Tough act to follow there, but Back at the Ranch is one of the best examples that I give to students, actually, because how clear the main point and the purpose is throughout. He tells us right up front what's going on. He includes details that add to that purpose, and then he comes back to it in the end. So it's a really nice framework for how to make sure that you're hitting on those points all throughout the essay. You don't want us to be guessing. You don't want us to be guessing all the way up until the end why you're telling us this story. You need to let us know in some way at the beginning. And then everything that's included in the story needs to fill in that purpose. And then remind us of it at the end. So it's a great example for that. So that's everything that we covered last week in week 3. So this week, I'm going to have a video, 3 videos, just like last week. The next sub-tab in this description and narration tab will be the 3 videos, each one going over one of the sample essays that you read for homework. So there'll be one on Black Men in Public Space, one on Words of My Youth, and one on Deep Green Eyes. So make sure that you go to that sub-tab and you watch all three of those videos, because I'll discuss them just like I did the first 3 essays, and you can get a better understanding of what I was hoping you would pick up on, and walk away with from each of those essays. Once you've looked over or viewed those 3 videos, the last sub-tab in this description and narration tab is a graded exercise. It is the narrative essay workshop. So it is a text submission. Again, you type your answers, type your responses right in the text box. It's not a file submission. You won't do it in a Word document and upload it. You'll type it right in the box. And basically what I'm asking you to do is provide me with the rhetorical situation for your essay topic. So this is the day where you need to, or this is the week, I should say, where you need to nail down a topic. And so literally what I want you to do for this exercise is type in that text box what your focused topic is, what your angle is. How are you going to bring something new and different and unique to this story? What is your purpose? What do you want us as your readers to walk away with? Who are your readers? Who do you think would be most interested in this? Is there a secondary audience? There might be, a group of people where you're like, this is really going to resonate with them, but I think even these other groups of people will get something from it. So who do you anticipate your primary and secondary audiences being? And then thinking about the context, what kind of voice and tone will be appropriate for this? What other things are you taking into consideration as you start to draft the story? I'm going to grade these as they are submitted. I'm going to be trying to check every day to see if anyone has submitted the narrative essay workshop. And I will be providing you feedback on it as quickly as I possibly can, especially for anyone who I think might be heading down the wrong track. Like if I foresee a problem and that might cause you to want to change topics completely, or at least consider certain things as you start to draft, certain things that I think make sure you don't do this, or make sure you include this or go down this road. I'm just going to give you as much feedback as I can, and hopefully you'll get my responses before you start working on the rough draft. Try to look for my feedback on the narrative essay workshop so that you'll know if you're headed in the right direction. If you get to a point where you're starting to work on the rough draft for essay number 1 and you haven't heard anything from me, if you want to check in with me, that's fine. And I'll let you know if I have any concerns or if you're pretty much good to go. So that's what you'll do after you watch the 3 videos for the second round of sample essays. So go ahead and watch those videos, do the essay workshop, and if you have any questions about any of it, let me know.